1, 2,
and
three.
a 3. Welcome back to Know Thy Shelves. I'm Michelle.
I'm Rachel.
Did you have any bookish news or anything like that?
No bookish news, but I did read one book.
I did too, so let's go.
Okay, so the other book that I read was called Heaven.
Okay.
And it was less than 100 pages, and it was
No.
smut, basically.
Nothing wrong with that. I read a smut one, but it was a little bit longer. Well, it really wasn't a lot of smut, but it's called The Accidental Marriage by Nadine Lee. It was like a grumpy billionaire romance, a marriage out of necessity. So it was okay. Wouldn't read it again, but it's totally fine. So I'm ready to get back. I'm ready to get into the book if you are.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, this was our horror pick this month.
We read Hide.
Hide by Kiersten White. So it was a shorter read. It was only 2 something.
Yes, compared to some of the other ones that
Yeah.
we're reading.
Like the one we're reading now.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
It's pretty.
It is very pretty. It is actually. Okay. So let's just get into the book.
Okay.
It's kind of like I said, it's a horror, and it's set in an abandoned amusement park, which is just kind of creepy all on its own. So, before we get into why, there are like a shit ton of characters.
That seems to be the theme with all the books this month.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you for pointing that out, Rachel. No, I'm just kidding. It's a really good, really good point. This one had 15 different POVs because I counted them.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh. And I think the only thing that's going to get really kind of confusing, there's 2 characters that are named the same. How do you want to address them?
Ava and other Ava.
Okay. Works for me.
How they did it in the book is fine.
Yeah, okay. Cool. So our main, like, POV, just because it's more than all the other characters, obviously, is Mac. Her full name is Mackenzie Black. And it opens up, or at least the book opens up in that she is at a homeless shelter, and they obviously kick people out during the, in the morning, and then they have to, fend for yourselves until like a certain time at night, and then they can come back and sleep for the night, basically. Yeah. So the manager or whoever she is of the homeless shelter suggests this game of hide and seek.
Yes.
In an abandoned amusement park.
And there's a prize of $50,000.
50,000.
There's going to be 14 contestants. Only one will win. It was done by Extreme Sports.
Yeah. Oxley, yeah. Ox Extreme Sports. That's a mouthful. But yeah, it's, so basically, you have the 14 competitors, and they're all described as people and no names until you get into the POVs, or at least some of them.
Well, I think it's so that you can, like, discover who they are each time. Like, this person smiles a lot, so we're gonna, toothpaste out, or like...
Yeah. Yeah, I felt like that was just another layer in the book of the hide part aspect, where you get, like, the description of people, like a social media fitness model. Okay, we don't know who the fuck that is, like, until they get into, and then you're kind of piecing it together. And I felt like that was on purpose.
Yeah. Also, there's a lot of throwaway characters. So you're like, this person has a name, but is this name important? Is this person important?
Yes. Actually, well, besides the people that get out on the first night, everyone else is important.
Kind of,
yes. So I guess you just want to go over the names of the people and then go into the story part?
Yeah, let's
do it. Work? Okay. So obviously we got Mac. We got Ava.
Which is...
Ava 2.
The other Ava.
Yes. I make that distinction because she's beautiful Ava, or another way to describe her.
Yep.
There's Atreus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Atreus is what
Atreus.
Atreus.
Yes. Real name's
Or
Kyle.
He was labeled as Kyle in my notes.
That's funny. You got Sydney. You got Logan. You got Rosie, Jaden, Rebecca, Ian, LeGrand,
Yeah, LeGrand.
Brandon, Ava, other Ava, Kiersten, right? Kiersten? Christian? There we go. Christian. I'm gonna go through all the CK names here. Isabel, and then Linda.
Okay, you said Sydney. I was like, you forgot Sydney.
Nope, I got Sydney on there. And obviously all of the characters from the list have a chapter in the book, at least.
Yes.
Not really a chapter.
They have a little section.
Yeah, they have sections. There's not really a lot of like chapter breakups in this, but there are like breaks in the story. So now that we're going there, we're going to Hysterion, wherever that is. Hysterion, wherever that may be. I think it wasn't said where it was supposed to be located.
No, but it's like the way I pictured it is like this quiet kind of like dying town where not a lot of people live there.
Yeah,
and then there's just this amusement park down the road,
which is so yeah. I don't know if I wrote down when the amusement park was made. 60s?
I don't think I have that in my notes.
Okay.
Let me see.
I wasn't 100% sure. I didn't write that down. I don't know if it really matters. I want to say it was 50s, maybe.
53.
53?
The amusement park opened in 1953.
There we go. 53. And I want to say it was only open
till the 70s.
Yeah, okay. It wasn't that long. And then obviously we're in the 2020. In the book, it's 2023.
Yes.
So obviously some years have passed. And so I'm just... You want to...
So, in the reason why the amusement park closed is because a 5-year-old girl went missing.
Yes.
And this 5-year-old girl was in a rich family, so there was a big hubbub about it.
Oh yeah, it was.
And she went missing, the park closed, and then that's where we get into Mac at the shelter.
Yep. Thank you. So the 14 wow.
Contestants.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know, I was trying to put that in competitor together or something. Yes.
Contestants.
Yes, so the contestants of the game are all given like a duffel bag full of stuff, and they're on a bus ride for a really long time, and like many hours. Actually, they're actually waiting on the bus to arrive.
Yes.
And there was some kind of miscommunication.
I don't think there was a miscommunication.
No.
I think it was just they were trying to get all of them together before they picked them up on the bus.
Yes. And I honestly think they drugged them.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the reason why they just let them sit out in that fucking desert of like heat. It's like, here's some water. You good? So yeah, they kind of all fall asleep on the bus, and then they arrive wherever. Obviously, we know the name of the town was Hysterion. No idea where that is.
It's a small town, USA.
Yes. So they find out that they like go to a spa in the town the first day, get pampered, and then go into the park on first night after dusk. And so the rules are you are to hide between dawn and dusk. You come back at dusk to like the home camp, right?
Base camp, yeah.
Base camp. And then you just do it all again. And 2 people a day get out.
But they don't know 2 people a day get out the first night. They find that out the
oh yes, they find that out
after day 1.
Day 1, yes, you're right. All right, yes.
So they just know that they've got to hide all day,
yes.
And that
they
come back.
Yeah, they have 30 minutes from dusk. I'm like trying to think. Dusk? 30 minutes to hide. And then obviously they like turn on this like spotlight because it's obviously creepy and dark. So they turn on the spotlight for people to come back to camp. That Linda's supposed to be there somewhat of the time. Linda's the person that like set this whole thing up. And yeah. Set up the game for the Oxy sports extreme sports competitor. And she seemed like super bubbly and nice. That's your first.
Seems.
Yeah, seems. Okay, so this starts day one. It kind of goes, obviously not a lot happens on day one. So they all kind of run off and hide, and different point of views of where they go into the different spots in the amusement park. The main character, which is the one we really care about, Mac, hid, I want to say it's like almost like, you know, one of those stalls for like toys that you get toys, like the games
and amusement. So like the ring toss or the water shooting game or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so I imagine it's kind of in like kind of a stall like that, and because she mentions like rubber duckies, obviously maybe that was one of the prizes. Obviously, I don't know.
I don't know.
So she hides up in the rafters. She kind of gets sunburns because she like lays there all day. There's not really much to do, and she's like, "I'm willing to pay myself for this." I don't feel like that was necessary. But good to know where your brain's at, you know. I mean, obviously, for every one of the contestants, $50,000 is game changer. Obviously, that's why they're there. Okay, so day one, like I said, they kind of go hide. Logan and Isabella get out on the first night. Logan was a app developer. I don't know if that's important or not. Do we care?
I don't think so. He was just trying to work with Fry Electronics, I think.
Yes, which was one of the it was one of the founding families of the town, the Fry industry, and they've done really well for themselves. Anyways,
you don't know that yet.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you don't know that. Yes, but
and then Isabel, I don't know what her last name was.
It didn't go over some of their last names, but she was an internal intern. That's what she was described as, which I don't want to ever be that described that way. So, haha, baby. Okay, so day two, Mac on the bus got really close to Ava.
Number one.
Original
Ava.
Yes, original Ava. She is a veteran. Lost her leg or mobility of leg. I want to say it's still there. It
she
just
still
can't.
has a leg, but it's injured.
Yes, like burnt. So she has a hard time. I wouldn't say walking, but running, stuff like that. So
doing very strenuous activities.
Yes. So Mac finds out that Ava can't sleep where she doesn't feel safe. Right?
Yes.
Like,
so she hasn't been sleeping for like 3 days now.
Yeah. Besides on the bus. She got to sleep on the bus. Everyone got to sleep on the bus. So against Mac's better judgment, she says, hey, you know, will you sleep if, you know, I'll stay and I'll watch over you. So they go back to the first place she hid, which was above in the rafter thingy-mabobs. And so she made space for Ava. And they hear something
circling around where she went to the restroom.
Yes,
because the previous day.
Yeah, she relieved herself behind a building, maybe a couple yards that way, and so she hears like, she describes it kind of like creepy, which I think it's meant to be that way, obviously. Where it sounds like footsteps, but not quite right.
It sounds more animalistic.
Yes,
which is part of what's coming up.
Yeah.
Also, this amusement park is a maze. It's not like clearly defined where everything is. Like you kind of have to work your way around. And Kyle, Atreus, he stays out later than everybody else, and he's trying to figure out his way through this amusement park. So he kind of tags arrows, which way to go.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. It's very, very important later. So think they obviously get down, head back to camp, and this is where the rest of the group kind of, not group, there's one person that recognizes her name, Mac's name, and then he puts two and two. I think it's Jaden, isn't it? The one that,
it's Jaden.
We don't like Jaden. He's a kind of a dick. Anyways, so he basically tells the whole backstory of Mac and how she's a sole survivor of the hide-and-seek massacre, as they dubbed it.
Yes.
Which is about as what it sounds. Her dad went on a killing spree, and I don't know about the mom because I don't think it said. I know it killed his wife,
his
daughter, youngest daughter,
and then his mother and father-in-law.
Okay. And then so Mac feels a lot of guilt because the hiding place that she chose was her little sister that showed her.
Yes. But you don't find that till later.
So there's before you find out the whole backstory, Mac is just very guilty about what happened, and you don't understand why until you figure out. I think it's day 4 or 5 that this comes up, where she kind of goes over the backstory and tells original Ava, why she feels so guilty about it. And now it kind of makes more sense as to why she is the way she is, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Also, in this day, you get Legrand, kind of start of Legrand's backstory, where he was in a religious cult, kind of like
Crazy, yes.
Warren Jeffs and their group. Warren Jeffs is a fundamentalist Mormon who has 20-some wives and 100 kids, but he's in jail now.
Okay. Well, that's good. Good for that. But yeah, it's kind of a similar situation where Legrand's father is a prophet or made him seem like a prophet, I should say, in this cult, and he is there to help his sister. His sister has some medical issues where she's unable to walk by herself. I'm not sure what else in full extent, but he wants to win the money to get her out of the
cult.
Yeah. I was going to try to be nice, but I like this. The cult. And
he was banished from everybody. So he was kicked out of the group, and there's no communication with him, and he's kind of just on his own.
Yeah. So yeah, you get a little bit of Legrand's kind of point of view during that first one, and then it kind of switches throughout the rest of the book between the different characters, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you get everybody's point of view at a certain time, but I didn't write down most people's, and Legrand's is the one that you need, and a little bit of Ava and Mac, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. So at the end of day 2, Sydney and Rose get out, or Rosie, I'm sorry. Like I said, some of these are just throwaway characters because you're I don't care about anything.
Sydney was the prankster, and Rosie was a jewelry designer.
Yep.
And she has this heart necklace that comes back later.
Yeah, she's really into silver. She likes making media in silver. There we go. So day 3, Mac and Ava decide to hide together. They go to a different spot because they're kind of freaked out about the earlier encounter, because they were thinking that Linda comes in and out of the park by ATV. So they were thinking, it'll be easy to hear people come up because they're all on ATVs. So they really got kind of freaked out when they heard just the footsteps, animalistic kind of grungy kind of so they hide somewhere else. They hide the bumper car up in the rafters again, because
the higher you are, the better your chances.
Yeah, better your chances to be able to get away. And this is, you kind of find, because I didn't write anything else besides
Day
them
3
going back
wasn't
into
that important. Yeah.
Of course, the group, once they get back from the end of day 3, the group finds out that Jaden had helped some of the competitors get out, and so they're obviously like, no, fuck that guy.
Yeah. He helped Rosie get out, I think.
I think it was
Or Rebecca.
Sydney, yes. And then they think that he got Rosie out as well, but it was never confirmed. He only got Sydney out. Yeah, right? No, wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm getting confused. No, I'm just kidding. So on the end of day 3, Rebecca and Kyle get out. And then this is where you get some more of the backstory of what the game is actually about. And you get flashbacks from Linda, who's obviously the person that set up this whole thing. And some of the people are sacrifices.
Also, there's a book that Linda said, hey, look out for this book. While you're in there, you'll get bonus points. And Ian gets this book.
Yeah, Ian
and
finds it.
on day 5, I think.
Yep.
4 or 5.
Yep. A lot of shit starts happening around 5 and 6. But yes, just so she basically said, and everyone's like, well, what's the bonus? And she's like, it'll be what you get. And obviously people are like, some of the competitors are like, yeah, we'll look for this book inside this amusement park. And other people are like, it's not really worth the risk.
Yeah.
So you kind of got like a handful of people actively searching, and other people are like, we don't even know what the bonus is. It could be something like crappy. So they're like, not worth getting caught, And then I think it's here. This is day 4.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you only find out from the flashbacks that Linda, this is current Linda, current Linda, and she's meeting with some other people from the town, and there's some hints about sacrifice, but you still don't get the whole picture.
Yeah.
Okay, so day 4 comes, and Matt kind of is really hesitant to hide with Ava this time around, because she's like, man, people are, getting out. She doesn't want to, the competition. She just rather distance herself. So she goes off on her own, and then Ava goes and hides somewhere else. Let's see here.
This is where Ian finds
he finds like the monster's like lair, which we find out later is the temple. And then of course there's a mural of 14 skulls, which just kind of, there was 14 competitors. So you're trying to like the author's trying to like put together the pieces for you to like pick up yourself.
Yeah, she's trying to guide you towards where it needs to go.
Yeah.
And also there's been little hints of like, oh, this person has my same last name, or like it's just weird little coincidences.
Like this would probably be a book that if I read it again, I'd find something new.
Yeah.
Which horror books is always nice to do, because it's more of the reread factor for me on that point. So yes, Ian finds the book inside this like weird, creepy looking teeth thingy. And the book actually starts from July 10th of 1925, and then it goes over the 7 founding families. I assume founding, I don't know, I just think it sounds better. The 7 families, obviously 2 each, would be 14. And then it's the passages throughout, like there's passages throughout the 1920s? Whatever. So it goes over what really happened to begin this whole thing. This is where you find out that they went into like this gated forest, which was weird. It was just like a gate and then some trees, nothing else. It was just the opening gate. So like to me, like, what? Why?
Yeah.
So there's the guy that sits out and waits for his friends. He's like, don't come in until 7 days. stay out here, don't leave. And so then he starts, so the guy that's like being the lookout, I guess,
he's also watching after their kids.
yeah.
He's like, you stay here, look after our kids. We're gonna go into the woods.
Yes, pretty much. So it kind of goes over him retelling the story of what happened and how on the first night he heard like some weird noises, and then just continues, and he just like wants to get the fuck out. By day 7, he was like, I don't know, no, I think I should go. But he doesn't. He sticks it through, and this is where you find out that they did something to be sacrifices, and their sacrifice made sure that their families would have good fortune.
Yeah, they would prosper.
Yeah, whatever that means.
So they wouldn't die in wars. They wouldn't go through the Great Depression.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
They would go through the Great Depression, but they'd be all right.
Yes, yeah. So it's only the family line, bloodline. Yes. And so that's when you kind of find out that 7 days, 2 people a day, 6 months a person. So the whatever thing sleeps in hibernation, I guess, for 7 years because of the 14 sacrifices.
Yes.
Oh. When I was like, yeah, you get 6 months a person, I'm like, that is not how you judge time!
It wakes on July 15th of every year.
Yes. Yes.
And goes to the 22nd or 21st. How many days?
15, 16, 17, 18, 19,
I
20,
think it's-
21, 22.
Yes,
22.
22nd. I was right the first time.
Yes! You overthought it! So one of the founding families is named Tommy. And that name is brought up before now in the book, and you're like, oh, Tommy's book? Okay, cool. He was one of the, I don't remember if it was Callus?
I think so.
Was it? I don't know. I really liked the one line from the passage. It says, Tommy's faith inflicts on them all. Like, oh, like I was like, I got chills when I read that. I was like, shit. Like, okay. And then Kiersten finds the fence. There's obviously they built a fence after 1925. And that's when he finds out that it's electrified.
Yes.
And guards shoot. Not to kill, maim.
Which is important later.
Yes. So, day 4 concludes. And Kiersten and Ian are gone. Poor Ian. After he helped us read it all.
That was his point in the book.
Yeah, it was. Because he was, I think, a writer.
Yeah. And then Kiersten was
A solar panel salesman. Not really. Because he said he wasn't. But I was like, I don't know.
it's not really important.
Yeah, no. So...
Coming up is when the people get important.
Yes. So this is when we go to day 5. And this is where the group starts to realize that they are actually being hunted.
Yeah. Because Ava heard the gunshot and she's like, wait a minute, that's a gunshot for sure.
Yeah. And then I think this is where Mac finds the bloody jewelry.
Yeah.
Her locket.
And I think her shoe.
Yes, the shoe. Yeah. Because I think she hid, if I remember correctly, in like this carousel, like a wooden panel in the center part.
Yeah, because Rosie hid originally in that carousel.
Yeah.
And then Mac found that spot and she hid there that one day.
Yeah. So, they decide to team up, of course. Jaden and Ava too decide to go off on their own. So the rest of the people, besides LeGrant, Mac, Ava, and Brandon decide to hide together. And LeGrant's like, literally a block, like within spitting distance, but he doesn't hide with them.
Yeah. But he goes with them
Yes.
originally.
Yeah. He just didn't want to hide altogether. I don't know what his reasoning was. But this is where stuff starts to happen. So you go switch back to Jaden's point of view, and he's just a dickhead. Obviously, because he's trying to get people out, which, yes, he still thinks it's a game. He doesn't believe their conspiracy theories that something's, killing them, or if he does, he thinks it's Mac because she's crazy. She's a soul survivor. That makes you crazy, apparently.
It gives you trauma.
Yeah, it gives you trauma, but it doesn't make you fucking crazy. So Jaden decides to go, and I imagine this as like the swing set with the chains, because he goes up the chains, and she's like, "Wait, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Bye." And he purposely waits until like last second, like it's getting close to that 30-minute marker, and he's just like, "Oh, we gotta hurry, And then he fucking climbs up, and he's like, "You got this." And then Ava too, realizes that she made a mistake, that she should have went with the group, the other group. And she knew. This is what pissed me off about her, because she knew what Jaden was like, and knew that Jaden would get her out, but she didn't expect it to be this soon, and that's what come on, like you're the easy choice because you went with him, and everyone else went the other way. Like I don't know where the thought process was, and it really pisses me off. Okay, so obviously sorry, you can go ahead.
So Ava tries to find the place, and she doesn't find anything, and then Mac, Ava, and Brandon see, like, she's kind of bloody and she's kind of torn up, and her, like, asking for help.
Yeah.
And I think this is when the other Ava goes in and tries to help her, and the first Ava 1, this is where it gets confusing.
Yeah, this is where it gets a little bit tricky.
Sees the other Ava getting attacked, but she doesn't see what's attacking her.
Yeah.
Which is foreshadowing, by the way.
Yeah. So basically, original Ava makes it a point to say the other Ava is getting attacked. The other Ava is in the air. What the fuck? And she's like, Ava's being attacked by nothing? Like her brain like short circuits because she's like, I don't know what is there. So yes, a little bit foreshadowing.
And then Mac and Brandon and LeGrand, I think, all come together, and they're like, okay, well, 2 people are already out because they think both Avas are dead. So they're like, okay, well, we're going to find Jaden, and we're going to figure out how to get out.
Yeah.
And this is where poor Brandon. Brandon just wants to be loved, is basically what it is. Like, he has his grandma, but she died, and he doesn't really have anybody else. So he's been like, oh, well, LeGrand, you can stay at my house.
Yeah, he, like, makes all these, like, future plans. Okay.
And then they go up to where Jaden is. I don't remember how they found Jaden.
I think LeGrand said that he, like,
knew.
Follow him one time, or saw that he was sitting up there or whatever.
Okay. And then Brandon goes up the swings.
Yeah, I don't know how. I need to, like, get some survival skills or something.
To get Jaden, but Jaden doesn't want to come out, obviously, because...
Yeah, he thinks that,
Yeah. He doesn't know that 2 people are already out. And then this is where Jaden gets thrown off the swings, and then Brandon goes with him, and Brandon breaks his neck and dies.
Yes.
But Jaden is not dead. He's like
very seriously injured. Very seriously injured, okay. Yes.
And then the creature comes back because I think it scents like blood or whatever.
Yes, I don't remember when it was said. But sometime between now, 1925 and now, the family or the people living in the town decided to go in to the amusement park and blind the creature. So he would not try to escape if they didn't sacrifice the people correctly. I don't know. It was kind of like just thrown in like, oh yeah, we blinded it. It's like, what do you mean you blinded it? Like, I need more information here. Anyway, sorry. So yes, he goes by mostly sounds and smells.
Yes. So he goes after Jaden, but not Brandon, because Brandon is already dead. Because they had already tried to send the second group, I think, that went in.
Yes, they tied him to posts so he could find them.
Killed themselves.
Yes.
And then they sent a woman that was insane. She came from a mental institution in with them to see if it would attack somebody else, and of course doesn't.
Yeah.
It only attacks the family.
The bloodline that summoned him. I guess someone would be a really good. Yeah, really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we're back to...
But now they think it's 3 people that died.
Yeah.
So they're like, fuck, we gotta get out.
Yeah, so Mac and Legrand run and hide because they think it's came back, because it's they got 3, so there's more than 2. Because that's been the trend, 2, 2, 2. So they're like, well, fuck, we're gonna hide,
Yeah, meanwhile, Ava got away, went into one of the guard towers, killed one of the guards, got the gun, came back.
She came back down. That's what's girl. But she didn't know what was there.
Yeah, because she couldn't see it. Because when the creature attacks Jaden, Mac and Legrand see the creature.
Yeah, they're freaked out. Everyone's freaked out inside, and Ava's like,
I haven't seen nothing.
I don't know what you guys are. What am I missing? And so Ava goes back to get Mac and Grand. I'm like, I want to call him Legrand. That's not right. Legrand. So she comes back for them, and she's like, well, whoa, what did it look like? And they're just like, it just was there. They can't, she can't get a description of it. And
also, Legrand is a little sheltered baby, and he doesn't know anything about the actual real world, so he's like, it's just a demon.
Yeah,
It's a demon.
Well, that would be a cult for you, I get it. So they go back to the guard tower or the one that Ava killed the guard at, because they obviously know it's not manned. They climb it up and then climb it down so they can get past the electric fence. And so now they're going into town, and they're like, we're just going to steal a car or something. We're just going. So they walk towards town, and of course the first house they go to, they come in and they don't see a car. They don't see anything else they can get for transportation. And they're like, well, someone has to come back, right? So they kind of just wait there until the owner of the house shows up. And guess who's the owner?
Linda.
It
also gives Ava a chance to rest, because she's worn out at this point.
Yeah,
she
she's
did a lot.
Leg hurts, it hurts. So this is where she mentions that she has really no kneecap. There's no cartilage in there. And the same with her ankle. So bone on bone, that would hurt a little bit. Just a tap it, And so they actually go in the house, they hide out, and this is where Mac finds Linda's journal. And it kind of gives the reader a little bit more opportunity as to figure out what the fuck is going on. What the fuck is happening? Why is there this demon thing? And this is where Linda, I think it's the past 4 seasons or something. In 2022, Linda discovered reality TV show. And got the idea of the hide and seek game, and for 4 seasons, I say seasons, whatever, 4 7-year seasons, this has worked. Because people will stay for cash. You won't have to worry about them trying to leave because they still think they can get shot, you know.
Yeah. They still think somebody's going to win.
Yeah. And then it kind of talks about the amusement park idea that one of the family members had way back, obviously, in the 50s. And they made it a maze on purpose to keep the creature as close to the center as possible. It makes me seem like the creature can get out, but...
It can't get out the gate, the original gate.
Okay.
So that's why, in the end, which we'll get to, is what happens.
Okay.
Is why they do what they do.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, what? Okay. So, Linda comes home. And this is where the three people that are still alive,
Yes.
Find out that only people of the bloodlines are taken.
Yes.
Blood
And-
for blood or whatever.
Yeah. And Linda's been in charge of kind of finding these people, and
Mhm.
the families have been like, yeah, go ahead and have a bunch of kids and offspring and all this jazz.
Yeah.
And LeGrand's dad obviously took that to the extreme.
Yeah, so many. Which makes sense on his part, really.
Yeah.
He always has the people to throw out, which is kind of sad, but yes.
And
True.
so they have to have all, she tracks them all down.
Yes. Yeah, Linda's super proud about this, by the way. She's like, yes, I got this. And then this is where we figure out why Ava can't see the fucking creature. It's because she's not actually from the family line that Linda thought she was. She's like, you're cheating mama. And she's like, you put it on top of my mama. Which I think is just like hilarious, kind of like dope it like in there. So this is where Linda's like, you guys escaped? Did he feed? Did he feed? And she's like freaking out about it, obviously. Because, you know, they'd be coming after her. Not her specifically, but anyone in town that still is part of the family.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's repeat families. Like, I don't know if this...
What I don't get is why they didn't just, like, all the families come together. You have children. This happens every 7 years or whatever.
There's so many children.
No. Well, that. But also, like, you make
The one person...
the oldest people be, like, the sacrifices.
That
Like,
would
you
make-
have so
yeah.
many kids.
Yeah.
And then at this point, you're like, okay, well, we'll come together and
Yeah.
the oldest one goes
Yeah.
and makes that sacrifice for the rest of the family instead of going, oh, well, we're just going to take poor people and
Yeah.
shove them into this maze and make them be the sacrifice. This is America.
America.
Instead of, like, doing it the most diplomatic way possible, or not even doing it at all, like, just kill the beast.
Yeah. Yes. So in like Linda's diary, I would say, she mentions that not all the families that were a part of this original pack or whatever, know about the creature. And I'm like, why? Why
Yeah.
at this point, you know, like, it's like, why? I don't, whatever. Anyways.
Also, I don't get how, if the creature is killing these families, like, as sacrifice to
Mhm.
benefit everybody in the families,
right.
how there's kids that are, like, in homeless shelters or, like, they're not
Oh, that
doing
makes
well.
sense. Yeah, I didn't
Because
think
it would
about
be
that.
everybody, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you would think it would be.
It wouldn't just be, like, the heads of...
Yeah. Wow.
It's a pothole.
Yeah, it's like, damn, I'm like, I didn't think about that. Like, I mean, they all don't have, like, horrible lives besides Mac. I mean, being a soul survivor. But yeah, I mean, we can't count Ava because, you know, she's not part of the family. Damn, fuck. I hate you sometimes. I don't know.
I'm just saying. Like, it just...
No, it makes, like,
It's a plot hole.
I didn't think about it. I didn't take it that deep, I guess. So they
Back to our regular
Yes.
scheduled program.
Sorry. tangent. Blew my mind. So I'm like, I gotta get back on track, Rachel, or I'm gonna lose it. Yeah, so we're back at Linda's house. Oh shit. Okay. So Mac decides that she wants to go back in, which Ava's like, why the fuck would you want to? And I think this is kind of where they decide.
Well, Linda also says, oh, we're just going to get replacements.
Yeah.
There's a girl in LeGrand's family that would be perfect for that. And
Yes.
it's his sister that he's been trying to help out.
Yeah, her name's like, it's not really important. I only said it twice. Lemire or I don't remember. Yeah. Anyways, so Max says, so they decide to go back. Obviously, because Linda still needs to find 2 more people.
Yes.
Because Ava and Brandon, because this is where you find out that dead sacrifices don't mean shit. So Brandon, like,
I hate it. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of sucked. So Ava was like, why? So Max says, we choose what was sacrificed. I never said it was going to be us. Bam. Mic drop. And that's into day 5.
Yeah.
And so, just to recap, Ava 2 is out. I'm just gonna say dead at this point. Jaden's dead, and Brandon's dead.
And Ava is not part of the families.
Yes. Yes. So, this is where we get to day 6. This is kind of... There is no day 7. Right? No. We're just gonna throw that out there. No day 7. Okay. So, Ava, Mac, and... they make a deal with Linda, saying that they will go back. Ava gets to leave at the end of the competition, and she wins the competition, obviously.
Yes.
Linda has she's not gonna do that. She's gonna kill her. But obviously she's like, yeah, sure, I'll let you live. But yeah, Linda has no intentions of keeping Ava alive at this point. So Mac's like, well, since we're gonna be dead, give her the money. And she's like, oh yeah, the $5,000 because they never had paid out. So she's like, I don't have that here. So she just gives like Ava like whatever cash she had to save, and Ava swipes some of the jewelry. And then they go back. So Linda's like, okay, how can I sweep this under the rug? How can I explain away the guard death? Like, so I think she takes them back to like the guard.
Yeah, they go to the same tower and they go back over the way they came, and they also push the dead guard out of the tower so it looks like he fell. Yeah. Even though Ava beat him to death.
Yeah. Beat him with a rock.
She was not playing. She said, nope,
I ain't doing that shit. So, Linda had a small gun in her purse. They took it. She didn't realize until, I want to say what? Like an hour into day 6. Because the guards hear shots. And they're like, did someone bring a gun? She's like, oh shit, you motherfuckers, they took my gun. And that's, so they each have kind of like tasks. So the Grant kind of pulls every one of the guards to a certain location with the gunshot. Ava, since she can't see the fucking thing, her duty was to get the generator to a certain location. And then poor Mac was bait. Yeah. She was the distraction. Pretty much. I guess this is where they find out that the town decided to blind the creature, so it's less likely to escape. But Ava actually finds the temple and finds the book or I guess Tommy's book, the original book. And she just stuffs that in her cargo pants. We don't hear about it again. Oh yeah, LeGrant took a shot and then basically stole a walkie-talkie and jammed it so they couldn't communicate. Or the rest of the people couldn't communicate. And then this is where Mac just, is trying to guide the creature to a certain location. We don't know where yet until Mac kind of uses Kyle's arrows until she realizes he died and didn't finish it. So she takes a wrong turn. And so, the creature is, right behind her at this point, creepily close. And this is the first time you get the description of what it is.
Yes.
Right? So, hooves, kind of fur that has, kind of moss growing in it, crown of thorns, kind of, blind. Anything else?
Didn't it have horns?
Yeah, a crown of horns. It had horns in the shape of a kind of a crown. That's what it said. I'm not sure what that is entirely, but I'm just going on the description of the book. So yes, that sounds kind of terrifying. So Mac is kind of, she took the wrong turn, so to get away, which I thought was amazing use of amusement park kind of this is where you it shines kind of thing. So she kind of gets on a roller coaster track and obviously having to jump over holes because it's, it is kind of broken and decaying. So she kind of gets away that way, which I think is just fucking cool. So obviously they finally reach to the one point and Linda decides to stop them, or at least Ava, because LeGrant is still kind of coming back. So Ava's still trying to get the generator to the location they want, and Linda's I think Linda has another gun, right? A rifle or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's trying to shoot at Ava, and so she just hides behind the generator, but she's kind of pinned down. And that's when I think LeGrant shoots Linda.
Yes.
But just in the stomach. So,
not wound her.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah, usually.
Not kill her.
She could survive if she got to a hospital. I guess we should say that.
I don't think the point was to survive.
No.
Survive.
But that's fine. So, I think this is where
they all meet back up.
Yeah, they all meet up back up. Obviously, Mac is running like a bat out of hell because what do you do in that situation? And then Ava, with the help of LeGrant, get the generator where they want it. Ava lights kind of the fuse, which was Kiersten's shirt. Sorry, I don't know why that was important. So put it in almost like a Molotov cocktail, where they put the shirt and then just flame it, And so on LeGrant's word, Ava lights it and runs.
Yeah.
So it's, for some reason, there's a whole bunch of shrapnel in it.
I think it was to injure any of the guards or anybody that came by.
Yeah.
Because they still need 2 sacrifices.
Yeah. So, and then Linda's it's not even here yet. You guys did it way too soon. Joke's on her. They were aiming for the gate. And this is kind of where the book just ends.
Yeah. Well, they get away.
Yeah, I mean, it's inferred that the creature just left.
Yeah, well, because the gate was keeping it in,
yes.
So if it can get out, it can get anybody that's in that family. So I feel like it's now and it follows creature.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't specifically said that, I don't know, it just kind of abruptly ended.
Yeah.
And that's the book. I felt like a lot of shit happened and it was really small. amount of time.
Yeah.
And I really did like the different point of views because it felt like as the reader, you were piecing it together yourself.
Yeah.
Which I kind of liked for some reason. It works in this setting, like a horror book. But, alright. Anything else you want to discuss about the book?
So, my issue, and this will go into my rating, but
Okay.
my issue with this book is it was a little predictable for me. Like, I knew there was going to be a creature.
Yeah.
I knew that going in this competition, they were going to get killed off one by one.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So I was like, okay, well, there's going to be like a cult or something. Like, it was a little predictable.
I gotcha.
Not necessarily with the end, but like, you're going to have a creature, there's going to be death.
Yeah.
Mac is going to obviously be the final girl.
Yeah.
Type situation.
Yeah. Soul Survivor as a Soul Survivor again.
Yes.
Well, I guess not Soul Survivor, but Survivor nonetheless.
Yeah.
So,
because it was predictable, it's 2.5. It was just okay. Like, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it because
I gotcha.
I kind of knew where it was going. Like,
I gotcha.
They're gonna get out. They're gonna sacrifice people.
Yeah. No. 100%. I think I said it. Yeah. I gave it the same rating, 10.5. I did like that you kind of had to piece it together as like the reader. I really did enjoy that. But like you said, it was kind of predictable. It's hard to do once you know a genre, like the book you're going in. I was like, oh, everyone's gonna die. Like, I already knew, you know what I mean? Like, I guess if I would have kept it a secret that it was a horror book and just went in blind, I think I would have been a little bit more.
We've just seen too much stuff at
Yeah.
this point. We've watched too many movies and read too many books.
Yeah. The plot lines get very, I don't know, it's just, you see the same thing over and over. That's why it's like, kind of with like movies, it's like the same movie over and over. You already know what's happening, you already know what's gonna go, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I really don't know why, like, Mac's backstory, was it supposed to be, like, I don't know why it was kind of thrown in there. Like, I felt like it was important. Like, maybe her dad knew, but then I guess I just didn't understand why her being a sole survivor of a hide and seek game led into that, which obviously it's a hide game, but I don't know. I guess
I think it was supposed to bring up her like trauma and like, okay, she's done this before and this is how she'd done it, and she was also like good at hiding, I think is what it's supposed to be.
Okay.
But also it didn't need.
Yeah, like I felt like it was kind of, there's more she could have tied it into.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking once I like read like halfway through, I'm like, oh, he knew, and he was, because they played a whole bunch of hide and seek games, or at least her and her sister did. Like, I was like, oh, he knows, and so he was like helping her train, and then I was like, oh, it just happened because he was crazy. Oh.
See,
like,
I wish that like that would have been tied into a game like before, like she went and hid and the creature got her mom and her sister, and those were the two sacrifices.
Yeah.
But
that would have been interesting, like, really, like, I just felt like the author could utilize that storyline, and it just flopped.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's the only thing I wish I would have changed.
I don't think any of the characters' backstories were really that important.
No.
Besides, like, LeGrand, because that's the motivation for him to get the money and why he was there.
Yeah.
But everybody else is kind of just like, oh, I was here because I need to develop an app, or I just want the money.
Yeah.
Like,
which, I mean, I get throwaway characters, you don't need a huge backstory, but I just felt like, since the book opened with her, I just felt like something more was coming, especially with her backstory. I'm like, oh. So I thought her dad was trying to do a nice thing by, you know, killing everyone. Like, I don't know.
Or she could have been a part of the town and he just not she just not remember.
Yeah.
Because that would have been
Yeah.
unique too. And like her dad's killed his whole family so that they wouldn't get sacrificed.
Yeah.
But
yeah, like it just felt like it was such a weird. Hey, this is some trauma. It's like, why are you here though? I mean, it did like kind of go into like she's able to hide. That's how she like secured her spot at the homeless shelter. She like hid up in the rafters. So I felt like maybe that tied into it, but I feel like I was just kind of weak.
yeah.
Like I wish I don't know. I wish there was more. Not saying it was a bad read or anything like that. I just wanted more. It was a super like easy read though.
Yeah. I think it was fast paced and it was good enough where you were like, okay, I want to continue.
Yeah.
But if it would have been any more predictable, I probably would have like, eh.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I might have not finished it.
Yeah. No. I get it.
But it's not the worst horror book we've read.
Yeah, no. Definitely not. So what is your scary score on this one?
Probably a 1. Like there's some creepy elements, but it's nothing over the top.
Yeah. I gave it a 2 just because there were some parts on how the author kind of phrased things that made me like, I'm feeling comfortable kind of, you know what I mean? And then I felt like if the creature wasn't like 83% into the book or something like that, you know, like I was missing that, like every time it found someone it just cut out and that was the end.
Yeah, it kind of black screened.
Yeah, which is fine, but it just wasn't enough of a scare factor to get me scared of the monster itself.
I wish there would have been a little bit more suspense. Like, you would see somebody get taken from another person's perspective or hear it.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of, like,
it's just done. They're gone. So I felt like, I think they kind of did that to make you seem it was still part of the game. But we are already
it's
knew.
a horror book,
Yeah,
so
we
knew
already
stuff
knew.
was coming.
Like, we didn't know what they were doing with the people, but I'm just like, they're out. Quotations. But yeah. I mean, yeah, that's my. It wasn't the worst book I've read. No. Would I read something else by her? Probably. I'm not picky. Can't say if I'd like it or not, but I'm not picky. Alright, so that's Hide by Kiersten White. And so you want to go over next month's? Oh, the rest of that.
Yeah. The rest of this month. How about that one?
Okay. I'm better. Okay. July's.
So, next week's book's our fantasy pick, and it's The Games Gods Play.
I know, I kept wanting to mix the God and games together, like, the God's Games Play. That's
And
like,
it's pretty. I got the pretty edition.
oh yeah. She got the special edition? Deluxe edition? Whatever
Yeah.
it's called.
There's nice inside pages, too.
Oh yeah, show it off. No, I'm just kidding. Definitely show it off. It's worth it. I just like the front because it has a Viz-Visir on it. Not the front of the cover.
Oh.
That part is a Viz-Visir. It's Nordic. Sorry.
Except for this is a Greek book.
I know. I was like, huh? And that's our sci-fi pick.
Yes.
Yes.
And then for the 23rd,
Yes.
we're going to read Red Rising for our sci-fi pick. And then the last episode this month is we are going to go over the show Silo, which I want to keep calling Salo. And if you know what that is, good for you. If you don't look it up.
I'm not gonna look it up.
Okay. Silo.
Silo, yes.
And then maybe some fun extra things. We don't know yet.
Yeah, we really haven't decided. Since we read through Wool by Hugh Howey.
Yep.
Okay. Yes. We're going to go over the first season and kind of describe or how it compares to the book. We kind of hinted on that in the first episode, but only I was participating because you didn't have time to watch the first episode.
I also didn't have Apple TV.
Yes. So we're going to kind of do a redo and kind of compare whatever's in season 1 to the book. compare the differences, so you don't have to. Because that will be our bonus July week.
Yes. Because we have 5 Wednesdays in July.
You're welcome. You guys see us 5 times. Okay. And then do you want to go August or you want to wait a little?
Yep, we can go August.
So,
So, for August, our theme is back to school. So, academies, institutes, any place where you can learn.
yes. So our horror pick was I Was a Teenage Slasher by Stephen Graham Jones.
Which I'm super excited about that. Our sci-fi pick is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. Brandy Sandy.
Okay, our romance pick is Dungeons and Drama by Christy Boyce.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, good. I don't know how to say this next author.
Oh, okay.
Our next book is our horror pick, and it is Immortal Dark
by I'm gonna butcher it, but Tigas Grima?
Sure, we're gonna look that up.
Okay.
Because I don't know if that's correct or not.
That's another Pretty Edition one, of course.
Yes.
I love
Pretty
the Pretty
Editions.
Editions.
It has no soul can enter without an invitation on the side of it.
Oh shit.
Vampires.
I really love / hate the sprayed edge books. Because I want them all.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it too.
So much money. Anyways, okay. So that's our August pick and the rest of July's and our see you next time?
Yeah.
Yep. Alright, see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.